Hey guys, welcome back to So Back Sports, and I'm so back with another video. And I just wanted to really get my thoughts about this coaching process for the Chicago Bears, for it is a really big topic going into this offseason. And the Chicago Bears every offseason have something that they have to address. Specifically last year when we had to address the quarterback and make a decision between Justin Fields and Caleb Williams. And the year before that is whether to trade the number one overall pick to get the Hall. And this year is no different because we're going to be going into another coaching hire process like we did back in 2022. Yeah, 2022. The years are just getting really jumbly right now. But before you end today's video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really means a lot to the channel and will help me create content like this for you guys. So please do subscribe. By all means, like Ben Johnson is the number one candidate for the Chicago Bears. Point blank period. Because his philosophy and the way he's been able to carry out himself, his experience, he's not a Red Reed kind of hire. It's not like a Mike Vrabel who has previous head coaching experience. And what's funny is that I actually found out that Red Reed means having previous head coaching experience, which is pretty new terminology to me at least. But he's not like a Red Reed kind of guy, Ben Johnson, that is. And but he has had experience in curating an offense and bringing it up from the ground up and building the foundation and having some say when it comes to the offensive line. And that is something that the Chicago Bears should really look into when it comes to, developing their, quarterback, specifically Caleb Williams, and developing this offense. Because for the longest time, the Chicago Bears have consistently been behind the mark when it comes to having an offensive threat. And by offensive threat, I mean having a competent offense that can consistently put 30 points on the board and having an offensive mind that caters to a quarterback's development as well. I think Ben Johnson can definitely get that. But the real question is, and that's kind of the point of this whole video, is will the Chicago Bears get that hire right? Or how will the Chicago Bears really go through this process? They're going to interview everyone that is interested. It's you heard a lot of the rumors that are coming out, like whether it's Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel, Mike McCarthy, God no, but there are a bunch of teams like Brian Flores as well as one of the candidates that has ties with Ryan Poles. But my issue with all of that is, yes, we have to do our due diligence and interview them. But I'm just worried that we're going to make the same mistake again because the Chicago Bears have shown consistently that they have been making mistakes like that. Because you have a quarterback in Caleb Williams who is by far one of the best quarterbacks we've seen for the Chicago Bears. Obviously, he's not having this insane season like that would show otherwise, but for Chicago Bears standards, Caleb Williams is that guy. And definitely made the right decision in moving towards Caleb Williams instead of keeping Justin Fields. But get nailing this hire is what's going to be the deciding factor of Caleb Williams' career. And I really hope that if Kevin Warren is getting involved, that Caleb Williams as well gets involved as well. Because at the end of the day, he's the one that's going to be coached by this coach. And the previous coordinator, Shane Waldron and Eberflus, did not work out. And that's why they were fired mid-season. And we can't allow that to happen once again because while that's cool that we broke tradition that we fired a head coach mid-season, Flus was generally generationally bad for them to even consider that. And Caleb is too good of a prospect for us to screw up like this. So Ben Johnson, the obvious choice. But my question is, Ken McCaskies and the ownership group and Ryan Poles get out of their own way and make the right hire and convince Ben Johnson to join the Chicago Bears and change this franchise. But another thing to even consider is that is Ryan Poles' job too. The hiring process is really messy when it comes to Chicago Bears. It's been consistent that way ever since this ownership group has been here. We've never gotten the timelines set when it comes to a GM, president, and head coach. we always do it in the most opposite manner. We would do the opposite. We would hire the head coach and then get the GM and then the president. That's what we did in Eberflus, Poles, and Warren, respectfully, Um, it's just frustrating because the reports that are coming out, like, Ryan Poles isn't happy with the current situation with Kevin Warren as overseeing the hiring process. And listen, at the end of the day, like, it's it comes to a point where we have to make do with what we have and fire Ryan Poles in that case, because we cannot screw this hire up. And my worry is that we're going to keep Ryan Poles, hire Ben Johnson or hire whoever, and then end up firing Ryan Poles later on, because that's not going to work either. That's just going to continue the same tradition of messing up, a rookie's growth and a team's chemistry and growth, and then having to start the rebuild process all over again. So that being said, it's got to the point where, if we genuinely, there's only one answer: Ben Johnson. How many times have I said this in this video? Many times. Because Ben Johnson, I think maybe even an offensive minded head coach, in offensive coordinator like Liam Cohen, Joe Brady, like, that's fine with me. Like, genuinely, that's fine. Mike Vrabel is like, I'm teetering on, it's okay. But if we get Brian Flores, if we get if we get Mike McCarthy, Chicago Bears fans will be in shambles every time we lose to the Packers. Because if you don't know, if you're watching this video and you don't know, Mike McCarthy used to, before the Cowboys, coach the Green Bay Packers before they ended up firing him and or letting him go. I forgot what it was, but now we can't have that. Anyways, on to my point. That was a bit of a tangent. So honestly, I'm just worried. Like, genuinely, I can't get hype over the Chicago Bears offseason until we get some concrete answers when it comes to the head coaching job. The only thing that would make it work is literally hiring the best available candidate, because it does work. Well, last year we picked the obvious choice at quarterback, which was Caleb Williams, and it worked out for us. And now it's a matter of picking the obvious head coaching candidate and convincing him that, hey, as management, we're not going to get involved significantly and you can do your thing. Just change the franchise. That's genuinely it. Because I cannot stress this enough in this video. This is the most important offseason of Bears history. Like we said that last year. That's not true whatsoever this year. This year, there's a higher stake, considering how this season turned out to be. From being 4-2 to potentially 4-13. And to end the season on an 11-game potential. Well, the Packers game hasn't happened, but we'll assume 11-game losing streak. Yeah, it's definitely a very underwhelming season, if to say the least. That's putting it lightly. But yeah, it may hire the Ben Johnson. Chicago, please. For the love of God, hire Ben Johnson. And then, if you're going to try to fire GM Ryan Poles, like, make sure that you do get the GM first. And, consult once Ben Johnson is done with his playoff appearances and stuff, then make sure that it's aligned with Ben Johnson's wants, because give him whatever he wants, because he's going to change his organization. And it's going to be beneficial towards Caleb Williams' development, because we cannot have him continue to get sacked. And then in the draft, address the offensive line and defensive line. Pretty straightforward. Not really anything else. That's the easiest recipe to put it that way. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get on here, get my initial thoughts. I'm probably going to make more videos about, the coaching hire, doing some more coaching in-depth analysis. So if you're really interested in that, stay tuned. It's going to be out pretty soon. And pod episodes every Tuesdays and Thursdays. So make sure to check that out. We discuss everything about the league. And always remember to like and subscribe, guys. It really means a lot to the channel. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.